Hey guys, Davis here with BADGamersInc, and today we're going to be taking a look at Halo 4. And I'm going to just be taking a rundown and telling you my opinion about the game. So let's get started. First off, campaign. It picks up where Halo 3 left off. It's 4 years after Master Chief and Cortana get stuck on the Pillar of Autumn, and now they're being attacked by a new force that they've never dealt with before. Of course, the Covenant just happened to be involved, so you'll get the same old Grunt and Elite and Jackal experience with no brutes, mind you. But there are new enemies, the Prometheans, the Forerunner Guardians, and they are the Knights, the Watchers, and the Crawlers, and they're all quite cool enemies to face. At times quite annoying as well, but they are really cool enemies, and the AI that they bring is a really new experience to Halo, and I quite like it. I think it's a really cool addition, and I think that is a really strong point in the campaign. Also is the new amount of weapons, and there's a few new vehicles as well that are integrated along with the campaign, and of course Forge mode and stuff. But I think the real story in the campaign is the relationship between Cortana and Master Chief. It's more of an emotional tie throughout the game, and it's that's never been done in the Halo game before, and I think it works out really well. I think it really does make the campaign of Halo quite good, and I think it's on par with Halo 2, which most consider to be one of the best Halo campaigns out there. Next is Infinity, which is basically multiplayer Spartan Ops, Forge, and Theater. Now, Theater, it's basically the same thing. There's not much new, so I'll just leave that as that. But there are quite a bit of new additions. The multiplayer, usually called matchmaking in other Halo games, is now called War Games, and it's basically a simulation, war simulation on Infinity. So they've given a reason that Red versus Blue are fighting, which is, I guess, a cool feature. But you don't really mind that. What you're really paying attention to is the really fantastic job, I think, of the multiplayer. I think it's a really cool experience, and it's unlike any other Halo game. This year they've been bringing the Call of Duty style perks and kill streak drops, or care packages type of, mind you. But I don't really think it changes the game that much, as you can still go back to the original Slayer that everyone's used to. I think it just adds on a little bit of a new feature, and that I really like. Now, there is a few new game types. The main one, I think, being Regicide, which is basically a free-for-all with the top player being the king, being worth more points, and your location is broadcast to everyone on the battlefield. And it really is quite a cool game type. I think that's one of my favorites, playing through it the first couple weeks that Halo 4 has been out. So yeah, but there is also Flood mode now, which is basically Infection from 3 and Reach. But now, when it's it's improved graphically, it's got its own title now. It's a lot. I don't know how to put it. It's a lot more built up. It's a lot more, has a better, stronger foundation. But the multiplayer does, I think, a lot of people have been complaining that it's not exactly the traditional Halo experience. But I think it really is. There's the ordnance drops, which is what they call your kill streak drops. But I really think that at its root, I think it is still Halo, and I think that, you know, they've put definitely a Halo spin to the care packages. So I really do think they succeeded in multiplayer, and it's, you know, fast-paced at times, and the maps are all really good, or all but a few, I think. But you know, they're quite. It's a really good experience if you play the multiplayer. Next up is Spartan Ops, and this is the topic that I think throughout the community has been really controversial. Some people think it's good, some people think it's bad, and I purposely waited to do this review until the second week of Spartan Ops was out, because I wanted to see the follow-up to their first episode that they brought out with the launch of Halo 4, and because there wasn't much story, there wasn't much action going on, and I do say, with waiting, I really did get to see a more intriguing story, but I must say, I found out that they reused all of the maps from Episode 1 and Episode 2, and you're basically backtracking and going the opposite way, and some of them you just use to the it's the same exact map, but now you know, reset new terminals and whatnot. It wasn't. I felt that it could have been done better, but maybe, you know, Episode 3 will have a better story, and maybe they'll bring in some new maps, which I think they need in order for this game mode to continue. The cinematics, though, that are released with it every week, the 5-minute or so cinematics that sort of detail the story as it goes along, are quite cool. I really like those and enjoy watching them. I'm looking forward to week 3, but if it's sort of the same as week 1 and week 2 have been, and that they use the same type of maps, then, you know, I'm not really sure. I think the outlook for Spartan Ops will be kind of bleak unless they have a really riveting storyline to go along with it. But personally, I do like the game mode at the moment, but I really think they do need to step up their game for the upcoming weeks. Next up is Forge. And as a person who likes to build a lot of maps, I can personally tell you that the new Forge mode is awesome. As really the only feature that we didn't get that we wanted was the undo feature, which obviously still is probably the biggest thing that we want. But now I think the biggest feature is the magnets, and this it has you no longer requiring to go in that reset or edit coordinates screen and go up and down point 1 and just have it be off of your designed target by just a few inches. And I mean, it really does add to the quickness of making Forge. You can make a lot bigger maps and a lot better maps in a lot less time, which is something that is really good for me and quite a lot of other people. But another feature that they brought in is trait zones and gravity zones, which are basically, you can add certain player traits or different gravity to certain areas, and I really think that's cool, because it sort of opens up a new broad spectrum for game types. Like I remember in Halo Reach, you know, they had something like that, but you'd have to do it on safe havens. And I do think that Forge is really nicely redone, and as we do not have the Forge world map, we do have the 3 basic Forge maps, which is the sort of Forerunner structure. We have the asteroid, and then we have sort of a hilly type of place, and they're all pretty cool. They're not insanely big, but it does provide a nice rounded out map design. I personally would have liked the Forge World type of style, but you know, that's just me. So yeah, I mean that's that's Halo 4 for you. It's a really good game. I'd have to say the campaign and the war games are top notch. The Forge is top notch. Theater, I guess, is top notch. But I think the one place that it's lacking, at least for now, is the Spartan ops. And if that, you know, gets up, I'm gonna have to give this game probably like a 9.5 with just some minor flaws here and there that I had on my console. But honestly, I think right now I'm giving it about a 9.1, 9.2, just because of that Spartan ops, and then that drops it down quite a bit. And then of course, you get the occasional bug in the war games, and you can't, load the map, and you can't exit out of the game that you're in, or something like that. Maybe that doesn't happen to other people, but it seems to happen. I mean, it's happened to me 4 or 5 times already, and I've just had the game for 2 weeks. So, but anyway, it is a good game, and I really recommend you pick it up. I've tried to make this review as non-biased as I can, because I'm a huge Halo fan. I think I've done a pretty good job, but so leave in the comments whether you're gonna get Halo 4. You've already gotten Halo 4. If you like it, you agree, and check out our other content here on BADGamersInc. We got Minecraft Let's Plays by Bennett, and when I get a screen capture software, I'm going to be starting up a Let's Build series, and maybe integrate with him on his Let's Plays. But anyways, that's been all for me. This is Davis from BADGamersInc signing off.